And hello and welcome to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host. And as always, it's so great to have you. I hope you enjoy the show, as I hope you always enjoy the shows. Well, we have the pleasure of having Emily Miner, the Public Access Coordinator of the Valley Shore Community Television Station, as my guest today. And that's located in Westbrook, Connecticut, and it's where I tape this program. So I hope that you enjoy getting to know her. She's usually behind the scenes, so it's nice to have her sitting here in the studio. And welcome.
Hi, Deborah. Thank you for having me.
It's so nice to have you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for taking the invitation to sit here and be a guest.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
How is it feeling to not be behind the scenes right now?
It's interesting. I mean, usually I'm, directing or I'm doing audio. Sometimes I'm on the cameras, so it's unique to get a different perspective.
Well, what I thought would be great is for you to talk to the audience about your background. Tell us about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'd say my background started in high school. We had this program called Valley TV. It was mostly just filming sport events and musicals, and it was an after-school program. And that's where I got a lot of my hands-on experience and real exposure for video production, and it's where I found my passion, actually.
What school did you go to?
I went to Valley Regional High School in Deep River, and I have no complaints. It was a great school. I had very hands-on experience, like I said, and it really just dove me right into where I am now.
Did you think growing up that you wanted to be in front of the camera at all, or did you, as time went on in your schooling, you wanted to be behind the scenes?
I really like behind the scenes. How does this work? How does that work? I was always just curious on how these productions got put together, and once I actually got hands-on experience and doing all that, it was great. I just loved it, and I couldn't stay away.
What did you do once you left high school?
So after I left high school, I went to Middlesex Community College, and I did a program called Digital Media Production. In those recent years that I went to college, they actually renovated the whole studio down there, so it was a brand new, beautiful studio, new equipment, all that, and it was really hands-on, just like high school. And here's my commencement photo with Steve Minkler, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And it was just overall a great experience. COVID kind of interrupted it my last few years, so I graduated in May of 2021, a little later than I expected to. I have an associate's degree in digital media production, and I also have a certificate in corporate media production, as well as film and video. So those are my specializations, and I've been here since.
So Middlesex offered those programs there?
Yeah, so it was, like I said, very, very hands-on, and they had different programs. You could go into the field of graphic arts, where you're specifically doing just arts and graphics, lower thirds, you're designing stuff. But there was also the writing portion of it, where you learn the journalism side of it and how to write a story or write a documentary or how to interview people. So there were a lot of different fields you could go in, and that's what I really liked about my experience at Middlesex is the professors each were qualified in a different field, so you learned a little bit of each category you could go into in the future. So there was a TV production class, which was great. We put on our own news show, and yeah.
From college and you graduated, where did you go from there?
I came right here.
You came right here?
Yeah.
How did you find it?
So I actually started off as a volunteer back in, I think it was my junior year of high school. So I was doing the Valley TV, I was doing a little bit of this. I started on Shoreline Music Monthly.
Oh, here you are.
I believe this is my first show I volunteered on. And I mean, Mark asked me to come in. He says, "You want to do a camera?" And then I've been here ever since. There's me behind the camera for Cosmos Sunshine. This was his 50th episode. And I just loved it. I mean, you could be so creative with the shots, and it was just nice listening to local musicians and finding out all the stuff around the shoreline here.
And I think the viewer will probably say, I've never heard of the Valley Shore Community Television Station. How did you find it?
Mark and my Aunt Wendy brought me down here, and she goes, my friend does a show, public access. I know you're into the camera stuff. You do that at school. Come on down and check out a show. And, I walked in here and I was like, wow, look at this studio right in Westbrook here, And some people don't even know it's here. And here's a photo of me and Chris. He's teaching me how to direct. And at this point, I was a field producer, so I was out doing segments and just learning about the studio. And it was great because, I was actually getting paid for my time and all the passions. Here's me out doing a field segment. This is my first field segment. It was at Haddam Neck Fair. So that was really cool to actually go out there and start doing stuff for the station and just highlighting the towns like we do.
Field producer. People are probably saying, I have no idea what that means. What were your responsibilities?
So a lot of my responsibilities was going out and just filming local segments. So I did a segment on the Iverton Pumpkin Festival. I did segments on the Haddam Neck Fair. I did a story on the flood of 1982. So it's just, like highlighting just the local community, local stories you wouldn't see on a typical news station.
Let's talk about the Valley Shore Community Television Station. What is it and how did it get started?
So I believe it started in 2013 and we came from Comcast in Clinton. Chris and Chuck started the whole program, which we wouldn't be here sitting here without them, so big thanks to them. And Chris was running it for the past 10 years, and then he found a new path, and then eventually I went from field producer to public access coordinator, and I'm sitting with you here today. And here's a little article they did on me when I took over. I took over in March of 2023, so I've been here about a year or so as public access coordinator. And I took on a whole new responsibility. I wasn't just going out and filming field production. I was running the station. I was creating the schedule. I was organizing people to come in, training volunteers, all this new level of the studio that I didn't even know existed.
Public access, people will probably say, I haven't heard of that. What does that mean?
So that just means anyone in our 9 towns can come in, they can produce a show, they could take out field equipment, do segments like I was doing, like Anne Marie does.
Here we are.
And here we are with Scott Haney.
There's me, you, there's Claudia, and there's Chris.
Yeah, so another good part of it is all the great people you meet, especially Scott Haney, but you never know who's gonna walk in that door, and that's my favorite part, all the connections you make in the community, and just you never know who you're going to meet next.
Public access coordinator, congratulations. I know it's a year plus that you're here. What you would mention your responsibilities. How has it been for you to move from volunteer to field producer to now public access coordinator? Has it been a good process for you?
Yeah, it's been very rewarding. I feel like I built myself up, and now I'm just running the studio, doing the daily things, and it's very enjoyable and very rewarding.
Tell me about the station. People can come in and do a show, take camera equipment out. What does that mean?
So what that means is, just like you can come in here, you create arts and entertainment. Anyone could come in here from our 9 towns and create a show based on a different topic. Here's a picture of me with Pete Mazzetti and Congressman Joe Courtney. So you could have a Pete Mazzetti show, you could have arts and entertainment, you could have Shoreline Music Monthly. The possibilities are endless, to be honest. And you just never know what people are going to create. We have people that came in the last couple years that created shows. Now we have a fitness show. Now we have, just different variety of shows, which you don't see very much.
Probably the listener is saying, I think Emily is great. I love what she's done. Do you recommend schooling? You started in high school, but do you recommend taking classes, and do you need all of that education to get to where you are today?
I think the education is important. You get a lot of background information, a lot of how to work in the field. A lot of it is, knowing the right people and knowing your stuff. So if you're very techie, go with that. If you're very creative, go with that path, because there's many different possibilities on how you can get different opportunities out there.
Do you have any thoughts for the future? Is this your joy of being here, or do you want to go to NBC?
For now, I love being here, and just like before, we'll just see where it goes, see where I end up.
What are your recommendations for the viewer that's out there saying, I'd like to do what she's doing, I'm not really sure, I'm not sure about education, but I do want to get involved somehow in TV and video film production. Mm-hmm. Do they just walk into a station? Do they just come here? What do you think?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I would find your local public access station, because you can just get hands-on experience right as soon as you walk in the door. We train you, we tell you how to do it, and go from there. I say stick with your passion.
Training. What happens when somebody comes in the door and say, I want to be trained?
We put them right on the camera, we show them all the little buttons, all the little fidgets, and we let them practice a little and, get them comfortable on the cameras, and then usually we put them right into a show.
How about in the studio? Some of my wonderful crew is in there co-directing, if you will, and doing audio board and on cameras. Can people come in and be helpful and do that with your staff?
Absolutely. Whatever your interest is. I know some people like to be behind the camera. Some people like to do the mixing board where they're monitoring the audio. And then some people just want to direct. They want to call the shots, which I love doing as well. I think it's good to just learn it all, learn the camera, learn the mixer, learn the director, because you never know what position you're going to be in the future.
Okay, let's hold that thought. I'm going to take a break. I'm Deborah Gilbert. You are tuned in to Arts and Entertainment. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Smart TVs and streaming services have taken over the television industry. VSCTV is proud to announce our presence on Apple TV and Roku to make watching your favorite shows even easier. You can access this service by downloading the Cablecast ScreenWeave app. Then choose Valley Shore Community TV from the list of channels. Select VSCTV Live to watch our channel in full HD. Or pick a show from our on-demand video library. VSCTV is your local Connecticut Midshore Valley digital connection.
And welcome back to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, I hope you're enjoying the show. Well, my conversation continues on with Emily Miner of the Valley Shore Community Television Station, which is based in Westbrook, Connecticut. And what you had told me today when I walked in is that you have a video that you would like to show as well. So if we could roll that video, that would be great.
I always wanted to get a marketing degree, but I kind of found it not really useful, to be honest, in what I was going to do. But I was like, I want to prove to myself that I can market something with pure word of mouth and just an honest personality. And so began this. I do it every 2 weeks. So we started it 4 years ago with the owner's son. And then he obviously went off to college. It was fun. We started off with 2 years ago, I had 4 cars here. And again, I don't want people to expect 70 cars or whatever we got today. Sometimes we get 10. Sometimes we've had 5. Sometimes we get 20. I slowly over the years, I learned from my mistakes. I realized I can't do every week or this or that. I started giving out little coupons, and little by little, it's just been growing and growing. And a lot of people take a long drive. I mean, we've had all of these people came from New York just to come down to this show. fun fact about the GLE 63 AMG right here. It is tuned by Renntech, Germany. Wide-bodied factory, and there are very, very few cars that are this wide on the street right now, due to even just regulations. Probably the only one I've ever seen, actually. This thing could barely fit in a single parking spot.
Zach reached out to us online. He saw we have a presence with me and my cousin. We have a following of cars online, and we wanted to be somewhere respectful and safe for a lot of people to just hang out, meet, network, have some fun, have some good food. But we just obviously ask for permission with the guys here at Scotch Plains, but also talking about maybe being respectful when people leave, just or picking up trash, things like that.
All honesty, it's so cool to see all the different personalities, and it's just cool to see like the hard work people put in to get them. And most of them are just normal human beings who just have a passion for something. It's the same thing as if you like to paint, these people like to build cars.
I actually know a lot of these people by cars, but not their names. So it's actually fun trying to guess who's who.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite part, is just connecting through everyone, because you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know one day when you meet them again.
It's overall just really great to just talk to people, talk about the same passions you have.
All right, so it's a 2016 Volkswagen GTI. It's got normal bolt-ons, intake, downpipe, intercooler, and then it's got a little bit of a big turbo on it. RS3 low pressure fuel pump. It's got multi-port injection. Made 540 wheel horsepower on the dyno on an unopened long block. It's been running like this for 155,000 miles. It's a daily driver. It's some TLC, but you know what? It gives it character.
It's good because a lot of people get to see new things. A lot of people are bored on the weekends, as usual in Connecticut. They come out here, they can look at some cars, maybe get a new passion for something. We allow families and friends and kids to come out, touch the cars, take a look at them, take some photos, things like that.
It's really cool to be able to see like everyone just sitting under the tree, just talking, and they don't know each other at all. That's why I love the community.
One of my favorite cars, let's see, that R34 that came here. I have always loved R34s. Still one of my, now maybe not so attainable dream cars, but we'll work towards it.
Too many to name, but if I gotta pick one, it would probably be this old Plymouth right here. I used to like a huge classic car guy, so.
Like, this is my responsibility, is to keep something like this going. Even in 2 weeks, I'm gonna try to get another group down here with totally different cars. Like, it's just fun. It gives me something to look forward to. Scotch Plains Tavern Car Show. It's simple, just Scotch Plains Tavern Car Show, no spaces, and you'll find me. Keep the good vibes going, and I always make sure I reiterate that, you know, to respect the lot, respect the location, and we can keep doing this hopefully for years to come.
And Emily, that was great. Tell us what that was.
So that was a Scotch Plains Tavern Car Show. It's a community event. It's totally free. And I interviewed Zach there, and basically they just say, come on out, bring your car and we'll have a good time. And so that was me highlighting just basically all the cars that showed up. I'd say there was about 50-something cars, and it really brought the community together. You had young people, you had older people, and they all were just sharing their passion for their cars.
Now, that was done as you as the field producer?
Yeah, so as the public access coordinator, I simply just don't have the time to go out to film that often, so I took this opportunity. It was on a Sunday afternoon, and I just went for it and taped it, and it was great to get back in the field and produce local segments like that.
So probably the viewer is saying, I have no idea what she's talking about when it comes to doing something like that. You're taking a piece of camera equipment and going out and filming, and then you come back and edit it?
Yeah, so the process of that is I sat down with those 3 people, I interviewed them about what the car show was, you know, maybe their favorite car. I asked them plenty of questions that didn't even get put in there, and then I just went around, taped the different cars, and it was an all-day thing. I'd probably tape for a few hours, and you saw it was about a 5-6 minute video that it came down to. So one of my favorite parts is actually going out there and filming, but also piecing it together, and then I can air it on the station.
So then you came back. Are there a way to edit here in the building?
Yeah, so we use Adobe Premiere, and that's our standard, and I actually learned how to edit on Final Cut Pro, so then when I came here I had to slowly move over to Adobe, but it was an easy switch.
And then from there, once you edit, is it in form to be able to be shown?
Yeah, so I export it and it goes right up on the station. It's up on our website, which you can go to www.vsctv.com. You can go to Video on Demand and look at Valley Shore Community News, and that's where you can find the segment.
That's a good thing we want to talk about is the website. Tell us what the viewer will find when they go there.
So when they go to the website, they'll find some gallery photos of us, but they'll also find our Video on Demand, where all our local shows and local events, Valley Shore Community News, town updates, all of that sort is on our website, and you can watch anytime.
And then there are many times when I'm home and I don't have access to the TV that I can watch it live. You can watch it live?
Yeah, there's also a live option. If you go on our website, there's a little tab called, I believe it says Watch Live or Live, and you can click right on that and see what's on cable access right now.
And it's also streaming.
Yes.
How does that happen?
So if you download the Cablecast Streamweave app, you can look us up, Valley Shore Community Television, and then from there you can also find all our videos on there.
Now, Valley Shore Community Television Station, you said covers 9 towns. That's in the state of Connecticut. Are there other public access stations in the state?
Yeah, we're all throughout the state. I say we're the shoreline public access station because we cover a lot of this lower shoreline area, but there's public access stations in northern Connecticut. There's public access stations, you know, to the west, to the south, to the east, all around the state.
So then if somebody wants to get involved in a station like this that's in a different part of the state, they can find a public access station and do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are your thoughts about getting involved here at the station? Does somebody just walk in? Do they call? What should they do if they want to come here?
So you can give us a call at our phone number that's on our website. You could reach out on a contact form on our website, or you can simply email me or Anne Marie, or like you said, you could just walk in the door and say, hey, I want to be behind the camera, or I want to create my own show. And we sit down and take you step by step on how to do that.
And I'm not sure if you're aware or if you can share, because Chuck Lewis, the executive director, was here, about funding. How do you folks stay open?
So it is a fee on the cable bill, but the problem we're facing is people are cutting the cord and going to streaming, so that funding is going down, unfortunately. And you know, we're pretty good about keeping it safe here, and you know, we have nothing to worry about at the moment, but many stations are closing because of that funding issue.
What do you think the future looks like for a station like this?
I hope we stay open another 10 years.
Yeah, I hope so too, because I'd like to continue my show.
Absolutely.
Well, we are starting to slowly run out of time. Any closing thoughts for the viewers?
I would just say follow your passion, and if you'd like to come down, you can come down and check us out. You can go to our website, watch our programs, anything of that sort. Just keep up with your passion.
Well, I want to thank you very much for being here
Thank
today.
you.
It's been a pleasure. And it's very nice for somebody, a young person, to come and share what it's like doing television production behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
I'm Deborah Gilbert, and you've been tuned in to Arts and Entertainment. In case you need to reach me, I'm at artsandentertainment@mail.com. Well, I hope you have a super day today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I'll see you next time.